listen, your money is going, okay? Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on that button. My name is Muratua, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for the support. I'm sure you can tell by the title of this video. Today I'm doing a video about lunchbox preparation. I've had a few of the mummies ask me, especially on my WhatsApp, because I used to like sharing content on lunchbox preparation. So yeah, this since when? Since 2019, but I was more serious on it last year and the previous year. So a lot of mummies liked, you know, the whole preparation, and they've been asking me what they can include on the kids' lunch boxes. So yeah, I decided to do this video. My son is in one of the Spark schools, and they're very strict with their lunch boxes. I remember when he started in grade R, I think in 2019 he was 5. So yeah, he started just before they closed on the first term, and he was in preschool before then. You know, preschool is nice. I was just throwing in snacks, juice, sweets. You know, on a Friday I would just say sweets, nyana, donuts, all these nice things. And when he switched to now go to Spark, I remember on the first day I put juice, I put Simba chips in there, and he came back from school. He didn't eat those things. He came back and he was like, my teacher said this is not allowed, this is not allowed, that is not allowed, this is not allowed. And I was like, yo. So days after that whole conversation with him, he was now cautious about his lunchbox preparation. Not really preparation, but like he would ask, Mommy, what did you put in my lunchbox? What did you put in my lunchbox? You know. So he took it seriously. I mean, you know how kids are. When the teacher says 1, 2, 3, they listen. So he listened from grade R. So we've been with Spark for the past 5 years. This is our 5th year. He's going to grade 4 this year. And I decided, okay, let me, you know, share a system that works for us. And I'm hoping it's also going to work for you as well. So I wrote a few notes down on my book. So I noted a few things down that really work for us, and I'm hoping it's going to work for you. And another thing that I wrote was, Spark, they usually send us letters, and every beginning of the year they usually share what's allowed and what's not allowed, and the strictness behind their lunchbox preparation. This is what they say, that healthy eating, research has shown that the kids learn better when they are well nourished. They get higher marks, they have an improved memory, they are more alert in class, and they process information faster. So I thought I would share with you, if probably you were including all the, not nasty, but all the sugary stuff, for you to switch and do the healthier stuff as well. So what Spark doesn't allow is white bread. Guys, switching from what we were doing, or what I was doing then, to this, yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult at first, and I understand the frustration within the parents when it's time to make lunch boxes. So what they don't allow at Spark is white bread. They don't allow your biscuits, your cakes. They don't allow donuts. They don't allow sweets, summer chocolates, muffins, so banana muffins, and they don't allow muffins. They don't allow chips or crisps. They don't allow flavored milk, water. No, not water. They don't allow flavored milk. They don't allow flavored water. They don't allow juice, your Oros, energy, fizzy drinks. They don't allow that. They don't allow milkshakes. They don't even allow, yogi sip at school. So any yogurt that you can, you know, drink on it, they don't allow those. And yeah, soda. So all the nice things that you would think, oh, I can have this in my lunchbox, they do not allow it. So switching from that, it was tricky. It was really tricky switching, but yeah, I've noted a few things down. So I have, when I'm preparing my kids' lunchbox, I usually count. I have a rule of 5. I don't know if it's a thing, but it is a thing in our house. So with my rule of 5, what I do is I would have a heavy meal. So like your bread, your pasta or noodles. So that would be my number 1. My number 2 would be the dairy. My number 3 is the snack. Number 4, it's the vegetable or the fruit. And number 5, it's the liquid. So this will be your water and stuff. Excuse me. So I try to group these things into little categories so that I can share what I put in each of the 5 rules that I have. So the first one, it's bread. I do though cheat when it comes to the white bread, because I enjoy having white bread, but sometimes we do try to have a bit of brown. So white or brown bread, staple. Another thing, you can change or introduce your whole wheat bread, your sesame seed bread, best of both, any type of bread that you think or that you guys even eat in the house. There's also, what is this bread? Sourdough bread. Any bread that is healthy, and yeah, if your child is already eating whatever bread is healthy in your house, then go with it. I also introduced the Sasko squares. Sasko, but those square breads, there's 4 in a packet. I'll try to include a picture somewhere. Wraps, hot dogs, burger rolls, pita bread, garlic bread, and yeah, so those are mainly the ones that I would include in his lunchbox. And how I usually alternate is I have 2 different types of breads per week. So I'll probably buy hot dog rolls and then have normal bread in the house, and then I'll alternate between these 2 types of breads within that week, right? Other breads that you can include in there can be your croissants and it can be your bagels. Things that you can also include as a heavy meal is your pastries, right? So with the pastries, this I do once in a while. So pigs in a blanket, where you get your pastry and you roll your Vienna in there, a bit of egg, put in the oven, has pigs in the blanket. With the bread now, right, we've already discussed the heavier meals. What you can also put in there, it's different types. So with the normal bread, what I would do as well, I would make homemade pizza. So with homemade pizza, you roll your bread thin, whatever filling. Let's say the previous night we were having what's this, mince meat. I would put in, spread a little bit of tomato sauce, and sprinkle that minced meat with a bit of cheese. Sometimes you can put pineapple bits in there, put in the oven. You now have homemade pizza, because we are not allowed to have those round or ready to make, those frozen pizzas. We are not allowed to have those. So what I do, I make homemade pizza for him. Sometimes what I also include the tangy Russian from Romans. He likes that pizza tangy Russian. I would also make homemade pizza like that. So put in Russians, cut them into smaller circles or smaller, almost like the bacon bits, like very small squares, and put in a bit of onion, fry it together, sprinkle a bit of sugar, and put again on the bread that I have rolled thin with a bit of cheese in there. You have another tangy Russian homemade pizza. With the homemade pizza as well, I also include, what's this, Vienna. So with homemade pizza, you guys, you can go wild. Try and think of what you already get outside when you go to Debonairs and Romans. What toppings do you usually get there? And try and incorporate those in your homemade pizzas if you are not allowed to have the frozen pizzas. But if you're allowed to have the frozen pizzas, child, just go with those. It's very much easy. Another thing that you can include that is heavy, amagwinya. Kids love fed cooks, but with us we are not allowed. So what we would do, we usually give them in the morning before he goes to school, or I usually just keep them for when he comes back from school. But you can include amagwinya, put mince in there, put cheese, mince and cheese, or put polony and cheese. That's another heavy, heavy meal for the day. You can, if you're allowed, your frozen pies, your frozen sausages, your frozen spring rolls, what else, samosas, you can have those. With us, we are allowed samosas, but specific types of samosas and not all the time. So with cheat days, I do sometimes throw in a bit of those in the lunchbox. Even with pies, sometimes I do cheat and go to the nearest supermarket and buy a pie and put it in there. But this is not often, because of course then you would, get summoned, or you'll have that email saying, hey mommy, please adhere to the school rules on lunch boxes. So another thing that you can do, there's hot dogs. You can do hot dogs, but I'm still on the tip of breads. What I also like doing with the bread is doing bread rolls. Bread rolls are a thing, guys. So what you do, you still thin your bread with your rolling pin, and then you say you put your Vienna in there. He loves those. Actually, I think that's what I'm gonna do for him for tomorrow. He's going back to school tomorrow. I think that's what I'll prepare. I'll try and show it here. So so with the bread, you do your thin it, roll your bread and thin it, put your sauce. Let's say there's this nice space sauce that I like to put your space sauce or whatever sauce they like, tomato sauce, put your Viennas in there and roll them. Once you've rolled it, switch on your stove, put your pan on the stove, and then your bread just on the tip, on the end, so la it's in a corner, the bread, put it upside down for it to kind of like lock. When you're making wraps, do it like that. Or sometimes what I like to do is I would, after rolling the bread with the Vienna inside, I would then dip it in a bit of egg and fry it with the egg, right? On the bread rolls, again, what you can do is put your cheese and ham. Guys, basics. Abantwana, what I've realized with our kids, they like what we used to eat growing up. So us as the parents, because once you introduce those things to them, it's like, hey, this is new, because I know that we like putting all these fancy things, but what's important is put things that that your child likes and that they will eat. So don't try and be too fancy, and also try and introduce these things before they go to school. So like at home on a weekend, and that's when you get to suss out, would see, does he like this, does he enjoy this or not. So on the bread rolls, put your ham, put your cheese in there, roll it, right? And then bese ukata the circles. You're creative. You now have mini bites. My child likes that because like me, he's a very lazy eater. So I know he takes that from me and I'm not proud of it. I'm a lazy eater, and yeah, he's also a lazy eater. So I try to be creative with his meals and make it easy. I'm lazy to chew, guys, and with me being lazy to chew, sometimes I'm like, I'm not hungry, So I'm trying to not make him like that by making his meals easy to eat. So yeah, the bread rolls, you just put your, as I mentioned, otherwise I'll explain it again. Russian hot dogs as well. Be creative. Whatever you do with the bread that you have, be creative. I would say every time you'll stay by, okay, Isinkwa needs to have ham, cheese, that's it. Put your ham and cheese into the hot dog roll, put your ham, cheese and mince into your hot dog roll and cut it. Be creative. Who said a hot dog roll must only be hot dogs or wors roll, or put your Russians in there on the hot dog roll. Put, yeah man, just the chicken mayo. If you made chicken mayo from the day before, let's say chicken lisani the day before, you made chicken mayo, put it on the hot dog roll. Just be creative, play around with your breads, right? Another cheat code that I usually include there are pancakes. He loves pancakes. We love pancakes in the house. So this I usually like to cheat it at the end of the week, so on the Friday. And usually when he gets to school, he will tell his teachers that these are homemade, because most anything homemade is better. Not really, but yeah, they do allow sometimes those. So I usually put them on a Friday, because I also feel like Friday, man, everybody is happy. It's a Friday, right? So yeah, on the bread, that's mostly that. I want to introduce corn dogs this year. Yeah, I want to make those, and you know, put a bit of sauce on the side. Tacos, other parents do include tacos. With tacos, it's a bit trickier, because imagine umntwana yakhe at school with the lunchbox, they're running around. Imagine that taco inside that lunchbox. I don't like food that is not appetizing. So imagine me now opening the lunchbox. There's the tomato there, there's the cucumber, you know. So whatever you do, even with your wraps, I always like to wrap his wrap in a way that it's not gonna spill when he's, you know, walking at school, or when he's running around at school with the lunchbox in the bag. So always try and put that into consideration, put that up your mind when you're making up these lunch boxes. French toast, I also put French toast in there, but I try to make it savory as I can. So, you know, putting your aromat, and instead of making it sweet, I would make it more salty. Yeah, have it more savory than sweet. Okay, cool. So those are the bread types. But another thing that you can include are noodles. You can include pasta. There's kids that also would request to have rice for their lunchbox. I've never put rice for him. But noodles and pasta, yes. So let's say you cook pasta the night before, the following day you put that as his lunchbox. What I usually do on the pastas, right, I would put that on his lunchbox. So his lunchbox has a lot of compartments inside. What I would do is I would put that on one of the compartments and then put cling wrap. But before I put cling wrap, I usually warm it, and I usually like preparing his lunchbox in the morning. And so I would warm that and then put the cling wrap, and then there's usually something that closes. So with his lunchbox, there's something that, a compartment that goes on that side, so you'd have food underneath and food on top. So I would put that to try and squeeze it and keep everything intact, and then your fork on top or whatever. Sometimes I would like put it on a smaller lunchbox that can fit into his big lunchbox. What I've also seen is other mummies would have remember the flask, there's these flasks that used to be colorful. Another one is green, another one is pink, blue. Yeah, those flasks, guys. I've been looking for something similar. I've seen some of the mummies with those flasks, and they would say they got them at Checkers, but I went to Checkers and I've never found them. So it's sometimes they metal, so it's a small anyana flask, and it has characters outside. So it's like a container, you know, like a glass, but it's a flask, and that's what you can use to put your kids pasta in there, and it would be warmer for longer. So what I also prefer is, I usually prefer giving him the pasta meals more in summer or more on warmer days than in winter. Imagine so yeah, because by the time probably they have their lunch, it's now warm in the lunchbox. So in winter I try to, you know, not include that. I try to shy away from having yesterday as his lunchbox, right? Other types that you can include, guys, it's your eggs. You can put eggs, boiled eggs. Try and put things that you know that your kids love. Your boiled eggs, you can put your boiled eggs in there. You can, what I wanted to say is, we're trying to put what you know that your kid can love. Try and introduce the foods during the week, during the weekend, where you can suss out and see if do they really enjoy this. Imagine now you put a whole different meal, a whole new meal that they don't know into their lunchbox and they're at school. they're gonna come back without eating that food, and listen, umntwana uzobuya are hungry, and that's your money wasted, you know. And don't introduce the whole lunchbox. So a new fruit, sparkling water, different fruits, different breads, or you know, try and include these things one step at a time, or one meal at a time. I don't know how to put it, but like try and incorporate just one aspect of the 5 rules into the lunchbox at a time, and not all of at once. I don't know if I make sense, but I hope you do get me. With the meat as well, you can put your wors, you can put your meatballs, you can put your wings, fish, nuggets. Play around with those things, burger patties. Ama yesterday, I believe in ama yesterday so much. When I'm making dinner on that day, I already, you know, in my mind, there's already that conscious decision. You would see, I'm gonna put this in his lunchbox. So when I'm dishing up, I have already counted, oh, to this piece of fish or these 2 wings, they are for him, they are for his lunchbox. And then on the side, I can put my broccoli, I can put my sweet corn, I can put whatever. You can even put probably just 1 slice of bread, and because I mean the meat will also account to being part of the heavy meal. So play around with the meals that we have, with the meals that they like to eat, and yeah, be creative with those. I think I've covered quite a few on the bread types. If there's anything that I forgot, I will try and, you know, put it somewhere on screen as an idea. And if you also guys have other meal types that you want to suggest, you can just comment down below for the other mummies to see. And yeah, man, so be creative, you know, make these lunch boxes cute. So now we're gonna move to our next point, and this is the snacks. So on the snacks side, I start with what we are allowed, right? What we are allowed popcorn, we are allowed rice cakes. Yes, rice cakes. We are allowed crackers, we are allowed pretzels, we are allowed mini cheddars, we are allowed dried fruits, but not all of the time. So with dried fruits, like, you know, we are allowed biltong. I usually put that as a snack. So with what I think on the snack side is something crunchy. So I usually think of the crunchy stuff. So what you guys can put is packet of sweets, your Smarties, your those jelly babies. You can put your Oreos, your tennis biscuits, your ginger biscuits, those bakers, your baker's biscuits. Bakers has a lot of snacks. Another idea or another brand that I love on when it comes to snacks is the one as the checkers. I think it's called Oh My Goodness. Yes, check those out. They have very nice things. Unfortunately, we are not really allowed those, but I'll tell you a cheat code what I do. Actually, let me say it now. Sometimes what I would do is taking things out of the packages. So let's say it's dried fruits. There's these packets that I usually purchase, and even if, let's say, I bought a big pack of popcorns, I like to repack these things into smaller packets. I'll try and include somewhere of the packets that I'm talking about. I usually find them at my bakery where I stock things for my baking. But Ziploc, you can use those things as, you know, cheat codes. Sometimes they work. You're okay, because as for the stress, we don't want the process of creating lunchbox to be tedious for you, you know. So use these things. Yeah, so I use those Ziplocs. Even with peanuts, I would buy the big pack of peanuts, and then we also eat peanuts in the house, and then repack them into those smaller bags. You can put your cheese dippers, you can put your good morning biscuits, you can put your marshmallows, donuts, muffins, you know, Oreos. Snacks, you can go wild. Simple chips, any crisps you guys enjoy. Yeah, you can go with that. Tinkies, I used to love tinkies. So so with the sweet stuff, he only has them at home and not all the time. So we try and, you know, shame. So we try and give him these things when he's at home, especially when he's behaving good. That comes as a reward. So we tried to incorporate the strict rules from school a bit to the house, to what we do at home, and as a reward you would get those things, because they also, even at school, do reward them. That let's say in Mhlampe, when the schools is about to close, they would usually say, parents, please give your kids, buy them marshmallows, buy them, we're gonna have a movie day, we're gonna have, you know, then yeah, you know, when they say they can bring junk food, yeah, that's when the kids are like, yo, this is a heist. They feel good now, but we are taking junk to school. When they allowed to bring chocolates and sweets and crisps, it's the best day ever. And this doesn't happen all the time, probably once per term or twice per year. On the snacks, go wild. Yeah, go wild. It's the snacks that you're thinking of right now, include those if it's allowed at your child's school. On the bread fillings, right? Let's touch on the bread fillings. I did touch on the pizza, what you can put your pizza spread. So other people, not pizza spread, I mean your pizza toppings, your cheese, that's what you can put in your breads. You can do amaribs. Amarib, it's usually your chicken strips or your beef strips, and then it goes with the vegetables. So the crunchy vegetables, your cucumbers, your lettuce, your tomato, you know, those things, your cheese, types of fillings, guys. Hot dogs, your fish fingers, ham, cheese, lettuce, peanut butter, and jam. As much as sometimes we're feeling good, peanut butter and jam, guys, they love these things. They love, you know, what I already said, Guti, take them back to what you used to eat growing up. They enjoy it once in a while. I remember there's a time where my child just wanted peanut butter and bread almost the whole week. That's another thing. Another point is, Magabuya, when they come back from school, ask, did you enjoy your lunchbox? You know, what didn't you like? Why didn't you finish this? Why, you know, what did you enjoy? Do you want us to change it? Ask them, because if you don't and you put something that they don't like, listen, your money is going, okay? You're gonna waste your money. So consult your kids. Do you like this? Should mommy still put this? Should mommy change this? Should we introduce this? Make it a engagement, I don't know, segment, session between you and your child. Because sometimes those smaller things, you care, and you're not always forcing, hey, finish your food, you know, it doesn't seem like you're shoving food down their throats. It's a conversation. Boom, by the way, mommy, today you didn't do the hot dog nice. Nancy does say those things, and I don't get offended. I would ask, okay, you want me to change? Did I probably put a lot of salt? Or, you know, of course he doesn't know how to cook, but if it was sometimes in Klampa over here and you didn't notice that you already salted the eggs and you salt them again, it happens. Mistakes do happen. Now we're gonna move to fruits and vegetables. Cool. So on the fruits and the veggies, how we do it in my house is we buy our fruits every week. So every Monday there's a shop by his school that sells fruits at a reasonable price. Hey, it's hard. I make him choose. So every Monday after school, I take him. We go. He even knows that, oh, it's Monday. We're going to buy fruits. So I prefer taking him to choose what he wants, because again, it goes to buying something that he wouldn't like. It changes. One thing about kids, they will change. Whatever they liked last week, they're not gonna like this week. Or whatever was, oh, this is my favorite fruit, mommy, that can change and not be the favorite fruit tomorrow. So what we do is every Monday we would go into the fruits and veggie shop and he chooses. So with the fruits, I usually say at least 3 fruits a week. So this will be your watermelon, your strawberries, your banana, but have direction. So you can, let's say he's choosing watermelon, strawberry, and red grapes. Aesthetically, it's not pleasing. It's all red, right? So I also try and introduce, okay, let's say when he says I want watermelon, and then now as a parent I'll be like, oh, let's also take pineapple. He loves pineapple as well. And do you want grapes? You know, so try and like listen to the ideas, or try and listen to what he's saying, and also incorporate. Because now when we're saying we have watermelon, we have pineapple, and we have grapes, we'll take green grapes, we'll take watermelon, it's yellow, and we'll take what not watermelon, we'll take watermelon, it's red, pineapple, it's yellow, and green grapes, right? You have your robot fruits. So it's, when you're thinking of those as well, it's nice when you're going to put all three in the lunchbox. And how I would do it, I alternate. So it's either I would put, one time I would put all three fruits, the next day I put just two, so probably watermelon and the pineapple. The other day it would be watermelon and the grapes. The other day it would be just the grapes and the pineapple. The other day I put all three again. So alternate until the week ends. And then on the following week, you're now buying what? Apples, banana, and blueberries. See, different colors. Also be creative with how you cut your fruits as well. With the pineapple, you can always scoop with an ice cream spoon. It makes round circles. You can cut it into triangles. We usually cut it into triangles, but be creative and sometimes do the cut them into strips. So rectangles, nini, doing squares, nini, like there's a lot you can do. Another thing is, I'm a baker, so I refer to a lot of baking things. The cutters that would cut biscuits with, so you find about the hearts, you find stars, you can use those to cut even your watermelon to be a star. You can get a cutter that has there's different cutters, guys, especially if you go into all these baking shops, you can find different cutters. Even with your bread, there's stamps, or not really a stamp, but like what is it called? It's not a stamp, but like there's faces. You find that it's a Minnie Mouse, an imprint, and then when you put on the bread, it does that Minnie Mouse face. I saw a lot of parents were complaining, saying, who's supposed to eat the crust? Personally, I don't do that. I don't cut out the crust. But with the shapes, it's something that we don't really use, but I'll try and incorporate it and see if he likes it. Instead of cutting your bread just into 2 big triangles, cut into 4 triangles, and he has 4 triangles. Sometimes cut into square, rectangles. Yes, just play around with what you have. You don't really need to go and buy things. You don't need to spend money on things that don't really matter. You see, now I'm offering pile, and we're talking about fruits, and I'm back on the bread. Anywho, with the fruits, there's a variety of fruits, and again, try and introduce these at home before the child goes to school, so that you can see what they love. With the preschoolers, things like grapes, those are things I feel good. See, you need to be watching the kid to see if they're not choking. But yeah, just take things into consideration. Uguti, if you, I personally don't really like apples, and he also doesn't, but imagine now you've cut the apple in half. Find ways so that the apple doesn't go brown, because imagine now it's 11 and you open the lunchbox and your apple is brown, you know, your banana has browned. So look at ways to preserve the color. In the creativeness, when it comes to your bananas, they're not going to eat the peel, so write a message on the banana, you know. Guys, creativeness. Anyways, on the fruits, you can have your grapes, your apples, your banana, watermelon, peach, your berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, different types of berries, your pineapple, your nachis, your oranges, your mango, kiwi. Guys, fruits, go wild. Oh, let's improve the month. Yeah, vegetables, your carrots, mini carrots. Sometimes you get those mini ones. Checkers, or other supermarkets, they do have those mini carrots. You can include those cucumber slices. Be creative as well when you're cutting the cucumbers. You can do strips, you can do circles, you can do triangles. Sweet corn, I already touched on this. Broccoli, some kids love gherkins, so you can put those as well. You can put olives, you can put potato wedges, especially for the older kids. Your gherkins and olives, there are kids that love those vegetables. Potato wedges, your roasted vegetables, you can put those with your meat on the side. That works as the heavy meal. Whatever vegetables your kids love, put that. You can even have mashed potatoes with mince, or mashed potatoes with fish, you know. Play around with what they like. Next segment is dairy. So on the dairy, this is where you have your yogurt, right? We are allowed to have yogurt. We are allowed to have those Melrose. Mom remembered Melrose. Those Melrose cheese, your Laughing Cow, your Kiri. Is it Baby Bell? Yes, Baby Bell cheese. Yeah, those different types of cheese. You can even have cheese strips. So you take your big brick of cheese and you cut it into strips, so that they have the cheese bites. Ultramel, can put that. You can put your milk. My child doesn't love milk anymore. We are allowed milk, but it doesn't like it anymore, so he only drinks it at home or have it in the morning with cereal. So you can put your drinking yogurts, so your Yogi Sip, your Steri Stampy milkshakes. Yeah. Our last and final point is the beverages. So with the beverages, as I said, that we allowed milk and water, no flavored water. So those are the ones that we are allowed. Plain water, it can be sparkling or still, and milk. So what you can introduce is flavored milk. You can put flavored water if it's allowed. For the kiddies, you find the cartoon water. You find that it's Paw Patrol or it's Barbie outside. It's cute, you know. When you allow juice, you can put juice. So these will be your series, your Oros, your Rhodes, your Pure Joy, liquid fruits, fizzy drinks, Oros. Did I mention Oros? And another hack that I saw another mommy on WhatsApp, shout out to Lebung Daung, is the Oros. So you buy those Oros bottles, the ready-made ones. You see, like what is it? What's that drink? What am I forgetting? Tropica, like Tropica. You find the Oros that is already made like that. What you do is buy those. You buy maybe 1 or even 2 or 3 of those bottles, and then you buy the big one. You buy your big Oros. Once they finish with that, you tell them, do not throw away that bottle, okay? Come back with it at home. You mix your big Oros into a container, and you do what? You refill every day they go to school. You save money. So yeah, I found that that was a very, very nice idea. That's what we also do with our water. I buy him water from Macro, and we still even have water that is left from last year. So there are stations at their school where they allow them to refill their water. They even encourage for them to bring water bottles because they do sports, they do PE at school. So what I would do as well is he comes back with that bottle. If he didn't throw it away or if he didn't squash it, because he has this new thing of, I think he's thinking his Popeye spinach, and he tries to squeeze his bottles. So if he didn't ruin the bottle, what I would do, I would refill with the water and put it in the fridge. The following day, same bottle. Sometimes you find that we only use 2 bottles per week. With the sealed water bottles, you'll find that we only going through about 2 or 3 of those a week, and we refill twice per week. So yeah, find hacks, guys. Find hacks. Kids can be expensive. Lunchboxes, they can be expensive, but they don't have to be. So find hacks that works for you and your family. Yeah, that's all on. Oh, Milo, yes, you can put Milo as well. Energate, drinks, or your Coke, your Fantas, do that as well. And yeah, those are the main 5 points. As I said, that if I forgot anything, I'll try include it on screen, and if there's anything else that you mummies want to share on in terms of the 5 major topics that I had, you can comment down below and, you know, help us to help our kids to have fun lunch boxes. Another thing that I wanted to say, I've already touched, so these were hacks. I've already touched on a few of the hacks that I do. I already shared the one of Ioras from Lebu. I already said be creative, guys. So in how you cut the fruits, the bread, everything else, how you cut your watermelon, scooping it, your shapes and things like that. And another point is when you're doing when you're including chips and like your fries and your things that want sauces or things that want dips, you can, you know, when you buy takeaways and you get those small containers, those round containers, don't throw away those things. That's what you can use to put your tomato sauce in there, right? Your sachets, your tomato sachets from McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, your mayonnaise, don't throw away those things, because that's what you can use as sauces for the lunch boxes. It's very neat and it's a very nice size, you know, for the lunch box on the day. Put your personal touches to your lunch boxes so that when your child opens that at school, just like how this advert of Mom Remembered Melrose, it's a personal touch. The child is at school, but they're thinking, ah, my mom made this for me. So have that. You're building a bond between you and your child through the food, right? Write notes. This is something we started doing 2-3 years ago, where I would write him notes. So, hey buddy, I am so proud of you for doing 1, 2, 3. I've seen parents of preschoolers also doing those notes, and it's a good thing, but also take into consideration that you can't be saying things like, what can I say? You can't be saying things like bombastic words, big words. So track their age. If they're primary, draw a sun with a smiley face, because they can't read, right? Don't now go and write sunshine when they don't know how to read sunshine. Draw a picture of the sunshine, you know, draw a picture of the car, draw like emojis, draw a picture of a face with the tongue sticking out. That's a cute touch to it. And as they grow older, this is when now you can write notes. Hey buddy, enjoy your day, or hey, I was proud of you. This is even how you can, you know, apologize. If you shouted at the child the day before, you can apologize in a small sticky note inside their lunchbox to say, hey, I'm sorry I shouted yesterday, or hey, I'm sorry I did 1, 2, 3, you know. Put a personal touch to it, and try make the lunchbox process not to be stressful, especially for you. It doesn't have to be stressful. Yeah, that's what I believe in. It doesn't have to be stressful. Remember, you're going to be doing this every day until December, so it can be a tedious process, but I believe with all these hacks and all these tips, it can alleviate a bit of stress from you. It can lessen the stress from you. And yeah, I hope you guys got a bit of help with this video. And yeah, let's communicate in the description box down below. Is it description box? No, in the comments down below. And I hope you really enjoyed it. If you really did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, please still do give it a thumbs up and comment, like, and share. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next one.
Hi guys, so I had to do a voiceover as I forgot a few FAQs. One of the main frequently asked questions is where we got the lunchbox from. The previous one, the clear one, we got it from Westpac, and this blue one we got it from Discam. They are both from Systema, the brand, and the blue one is currently on sale on Take-A-Lot for $1.99, so you can check that out. Another question that people usually ask is if I do these lunch boxes, if I have a meal plan that I can sell or actually make lunch boxes for them. If you guys are interested in that, you can just hit me up. My email is down below in the description box. And for the labels of the lunch boxes, there's also an Instagram page down below where you can get the labels for stationery and the lunch boxes as well. The board that is there that I use, which is written 2023, we got that from Crazy Store. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.